Michael, when you and I both went to real estate school, they did not teach us a lot of things. They taught us a lot of stuff, but not a lot of practical things that you can put into your day to day life of real estate. They basically try to trick you, make you come back, spend another couple $100 or $100 or whatever the number is now to retake the state and then federal test. And so it's a money grab. And if one passes, they kick that test out and they bring another one in, so you fail. So I'm frustrated with this. I know you're frustrated with this. What is the one thing that you were not taught in real estate school?
How to do an open house. I think that a lot of us started out doing open houses, Greg, and I got sent down there, boom, walked in, had no idea what to do. Came unprepared, was just standing there. People would come in, I would barely greet them. I didn't know the steps. They didn't teach me that in any of the classes. I didn't learn a lot of that stuff until I did training with you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Actually, I'm looking back and I'm thinking about when I took my test 26, 27 years ago, whatever it is. No, they didn't really teach you anything about that. That's amazing. Okay, so what did you learn? So you didn't learn it. You learned it in the real world. So what has it improved your real estate business?
The test or the training?
Well, both of them. Actually, technically, the test improved your life because you're a real estate agent now, licensed. But understanding how to do the open house, has it been more effective for you?
So I think that what you learned in real estate school was basically title, how many square feet are in an acre,
43,560.
Yeah, that's one of those useless facts that we all know. And I don't think that's, you didn't learn anything about the MLS. You didn't learn anything about how to talk to clients. You didn't learn anything about how to negotiate. You didn't learn anything that really helps your business. And I think that's why, you and I started this, and that's why you started training and coaching, is to help people get to that next step. When I learned from our class, Agents in Motion. Mm-hmm. I learned how to do things, how to structure my day, how to treat my business like a business. And I think that's the big difference. When you got into this business, Greg, how did you get started? Was it just Terry?
Yeah, well, I got lucky on this one. I mean, I'm not the normal. Having your father be a top broker in 3 different states and have an MBA in real estate finance from Wisconsin, and being around it your entire life, it literally is ingrained into your blood. Like you just hear the terms, you're like, oh, that's what that means. That's what that means. Blah blah blah. So what I did what I didn't learn, and what kind of was my uphill, like yours was the open house, right?
Yeah,
I didn't know contracts. I didn't know how to do this. I mean, before assistants were really a thing. I mean, they were a thing, but I'm talking to your contract reviewer staff, like Irene, in our office, our controller. Before those are even an thing, my first year of real estate, I took my happy rear end and I went over to one of our VAs, and I sat with her every single day for about 2 weeks, and we went over every single contract. And I took a red pen and I sat next to her and I marked on the contract exactly how to fill it in, because nobody had ever told me. And then I asked questions about addendums and different documents, and she walked me through it. And I kept that in my desk. I probably have it still somewhere, marked up. And every time I'd pull out that contract or write a contract, I would go back and reference it. But they never taught me that in school. They taught me enough for me to fail, but not enough to succeed. And that drives me up the wall.
Yeah. No, I get it. Now, did you ever actually read the contract?
Yes, I did. Yes, 100% I did.
In class?
No, that would have taken up too much time, and that was not my side. There was another individual that was going to come in and do it, but that did not pan out. What we did do is we went over the main bullet points and then referenced them back to certain controllers in our old company that would then be able to give them definite answers.
No, I meant in the training before you got your real estate license.
No.
Okay.
No, didn't do anything. They literally showed us, okay, this is your purchase agreement. This is what an addendum looks like. This is, a counter offer. This is how you remove contingencies. And you're like, what is a contingency? First off, and what's an initial deposit? Where does this go? Does it go to, since we're in California, it goes to escrow. Some are attorney states. It would go to an attorney. How do you know the difference? You have to ask questions. Most people are intelligent enough to figure that one out. But the fact is that they just take it as an assumption so that you can fail, so they make more revenue on you. So a lot of the times they don't go over the bare bone basic stuff like what CRM to pick, how to pick a brokerage, how do you identify a mentor, what type of prospecting are you going to look at, what marketplace are you going to get into, have you looked at the turnover rate, do you know what a turnover rate is, when you have a proclivity to one action, is it going to be door knocking, cold calls, mailers, social media, video, in-person events? What is your groove? They don't assess that. Do you want to work with buyers? Do you want to work with sellers? What are the pros and cons? What's the most cost effective for when you're first starting out? How do you begin? What age bracket? I mean, as you can tell, there's a long list of things that they did not teach.
Yep. Very long. Wow. Okay. So next question I'm going to ask you, and then I have to grab something. I'm going to step off camera for a second.
Sure.
What do you wish you had learned in real estate school that you didn't?
Oh, what do I wish that I had learned in real estate school that I didn't? Great question. Honestly, I think the number one thing for me that if I had learned something additional in real estate school, it would have been negotiation and body language. Michael, I would have done body language and negotiation. Therefore, I could read the situation, what the other person was not verbally telling me, and then second off, how to negotiate from that position. So reading the room essentially was not taught to me. What about you besides open houses?
So I think the big one for me, and you touched on this a little bit, was contingencies, how to manage contingencies. I think in the Silicon Valley, especially with the market being hot right now, and in San Francisco where it's like blazing hot at the moment, this non-contingent offer thing is risky. And even today, we approach this differently than we used to. I think in a lot of cases, we have to do these non-contingent offers, but nobody ever said this is how you explain that. This is how you articulate that. And I didn't learn that until Irene.
Well, Irene's a genius, but she's an OG when it comes to real estate contracts. It's true. I mean, when it comes to non-contingent offers, yeah, there's liability involved. Yes, there's 100%. There's a lot more risk involved. But if you lay it out and explain the options and the tactical approach that you can have on that. So let's say we remove loan and appraisal. Great. We still have physical. We still have an out. Let's say we remove physical and loan. We still have appraisal. It's the shell game of cards and appraisal and contingencies. You want to always, if possible, keep one contingency in place. And so they have a fallback in case something takes place, in case a buyer calls you up and say, hey man, unforeseen circumstances just popped up in my life. I can't afford to move forward, or I'm getting a divorce, or my job just transferred me, or whatever. You have an out for your client. Your number one job is to protect your client at all costs. Most people are like, oh my God, I get to drive a Mercedes and drive around town. No, that is not your job. Your job is to protect your clients, protect their interests, and be willing to walk away from deals. And that's the thing. Another thing they haven't taught people in school, how to be willing to walk away from transactions, because we get so pigeonholed in our mind going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, this is the only deal I have. I have to hang on to it. What if it's a bad deal for your client? I actually had a client, Michael, and then I'll shut up. She wanted to buy a condo. I said, great. We're going to go down to Dublin, California. We're going to look at some condos that you like. She found one. And it was a condo that had a contingency attached to it that none of the equity in the property could ever be transferred to the future buyer, because it was a low income, unit. Now, she wasn't low income, but she could qualify. That's a long story. It doesn't matter.
BMR, yeah.
Huh?
We get those BMR properties down here all the time.
All the time. And so what I did with her, I wanted that deal. I'd worked with her for a while. I wanted to get my commission, right? But then I looked at it and I said, look, this is a bad deal for you, because all she talked about was equity growth and future investments. Huh?
That's renting.
That's renting. It is renting with a down payment that you can't get back.
Yeah.
And so long story short, I said, look, I am not representing you on this deal. I'm just not doing it. I'd rather have you come up and give me a hug versus you throw tomatoes at me at Safeway. And she got so pissed. She fired me and I fired her. Her mom was telling her to listen to me. She wouldn't listen. Here's the cool part about this story. I openly to her face, to this day, we're still friends. We're actually really good friends. I call her, hey, what's up? Hashtag worst client ever. And she's like, hi, Greg. And she's referred a ton of people to me. And I said, well, I'm not going to use her name, but I said her name. And I said, look, why are you referring people to me? She's like, you are the only real estate agent that has ever stood up to me and had my best interest in mind. I said, well, yeah, that's my job. I'm a protector. I'm here to guide you through this process. And she works for a very well-known company that every one of you guys know. And she said that around the office, they were throwing different memes up of how bad real estate agents are. She sent me the meme, and then she's like, thank God you're not one of those. That's the power of being honest. And they don't teach that in real estate school.
No, they don't. There's a lot they don't teach. And I think, a lot of our audience is coming into this with 3, 4, 5 years of experience. And Greg, what did you learn in your first 5 years?
What not to do. Unfortunately, I did a whole lot of what I should not have done. I came in at 20, 21 years old. My dad turns to me, the Grand Master, goes, Greg, you should be the condo king. And given, like, I was in that age bracket, right? And I was like, that's BS, man. I don't want no stupid condo king. I want to sell $1 million homes like you. So my first sale was $1,250,000, which was up a West Side at Danville, which I was very proud of myself. But the stupid move that I didn't learn is that I should have become an expert of everything in my area that's a condo. Now, why condos, Greg? Because the people buying condos are going to sell those condos. They're going to buy a starter home. They're going to sell the starter home. They're going to buy the bigger home. Then they're going to sell that home. They're going to buy a really big home, and then they're going to buy investments. And you could go with them through the entire journey. But you decided to get in the car in fourth gear versus first gear, and it took you a lot longer. Well, it took me a lot longer to rev up because I didn't follow the steps. That is one of my biggest falls in 5 years.
All right. So one of our watchers here, Greg, has a question. Well, it's a statement and a question. I've been a highly unproductive agent with a head full of knowledge.
Okay.
Had my license years and did one referral. Any recommendations regarding baby steps to overcome my limiting beliefs and start from the bottom? I have an interview with KW tomorrow for a possible office support role just to be in the environment. Greg, this is a multi-step one. Let's
break it down for me.
Let's break it down. So, highly unproductive, years of having your license. I'm going to say you are not alone.
I think it's Edwin that's actually saying this right now.
Yep.
Edwin, you're Michael's right. You're 100% not alone. The reason why you're unproductive for the most part is based out of fear, because you're afraid of one of two things. Either you're afraid of failing, or two, you're afraid of succeeding. And the problem is, if you succeed, then who are you if you're not the struggling agent? And if you don't succeed, then you can commiserate, right? So fear of failure, fear of success. Like, well, if I get a client, then I can't do anything with them. I don't know what to say, don't know the contract. So you just freeze and you're frozen in time. But you're like, screw it. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to find a client. So you go, you listen to Michael, you follow his open house steps, and you get a client. You're successful. Now you can't complain that you're unsuccessful or unproductive. And by the way, I always call it a 1 or a 0 day. A 1 is moving forward, doing one productive thing per day. A 0 is staying in your comfort zone where you ultimately will die. Comfort equals death. Stretching equals growth. So I don't care if it's one tweet, one reel, one story, one anything. Hand out one business card, like and comment on social media and say, hey, Bob, hey, Stacy, hey, Rebecca, hey, Phil, how's your birthday? Hope you guys had fun. Do something and you can move forward. Michael, you were going to say something.
So I got the next question for you, Greg.
Go.
Should he take this office job at a real estate brokerage?
My high recommendation, I would go in there with the mindset to fire them. Here's what I mean by that. Every time I work with a client, I walk into that meeting trying to fire them as clients. Now everyone's like, wait, isn't that the exact opposite what you should be doing, Greg? Yes, traditionally you're 100% accurate. Here's the reality of it. There are a lot of yahoos out there that are going to be time vampires and assholes. They're going to ask a lot of questions, going to go nowhere. They're going to suck your time out, and they're going to bleed you dry. If this is not a good fit, a perfect fit, step off campaign and step away from that opportunity, because what it's really doing is taking away the leverage you have, and that's your time. Once you give up your time, you give up and the opportunity to go do anything else. You want to be in the environment? Go hit up brokers tours, go hit up Sunday open houses, get to know the agents, invite the top agents out to lunch and breakfast and coffee and cocktails or whatever. Ask to carry their bags to the airport. They're going on a trip, drive them to the airport. You want to get in the environment, get in the top-notch crew. That's how you get in the environment. Don't sit around mediocre agents. Don't sit around the people who naysay and aren't doing shit about shit. Get out there, be around the hustlers and grinders, listen to podcasts, read books, watch blogs, get proactive on what you want. Do you want to work with buyers or sellers? Do you want to do commercial or residential? Where do you want to live? How do you want to operate? What do you want to dress in? What do you want to drive? Get around those people. Don't just get around an office job to have an office job. That's ridiculous sauce.
So, Greg, I'm going to add in there that I think when people talk about this, they need some money, right? They got to bring in the money. And what I'm going to suggest, full-time job, and you're thinking about moving into this, do it strategically. How can I leverage this job to do something else? Can I take this job from 7 a.m. to noon and then go bust my butt to sell real estate? Because that's where you're going to make the money. And what I read into this, and this is 3 lines, Craig. This guy wrote us 3 lines, 3 questions. And what are the baby steps? There are no baby steps. Act, do something, go through the motions. Eventually you are going to connect with somebody. And I suspect that you are just not putting yourself out there enough. And, we say this all the time. Do the open houses, meet the people. You might do 20 open houses before you get 1 lead, but that's 1 more lead than you had before. And what I'm going to tell you is that once you get that 1 lead and you're getting active with that lead, business breeds business. Okay.
Yep.
You get into a relationship with somebody and you do a good job and you structure things correctly. That 1 is going to turn into 2. That 2 is going to turn into 10. As long as you don't stop doing the fundamentals, keep yourself out there. Don't go into a hole. Don't start hiding. Don't get behind the computer. Don't go to another job. Okay. Mm-hmm. Stay in the business. I get that you need to make money. Everybody needs to make money to survive. Figure out a way to do that so it doesn't impact your day-to-day real estate business. Because you either need to be in this 110% or you need to be out. I have not seen any really successful part-time agents. Greg?
Nope. No, this is a lifestyle. It really is. Because once you get involved, and you have to ask yourself that question, is this really the lifestyle I want? Because your free time is going to get limited. But that also goes back to another thought pattern of how do you want to run your business? This is your business. This is no one else's business. Yeah, you hang your license with a brokerage. That's totally fine and dandy. End of the day, man, and gals, dude, it is 100% your choice. Now, Michael just brought up open houses. Phenomenal option. Now, let's say you want to be a little bit more hyperactive. Hold on 1 second. Why don't you do this if you're like, oh shit, man, I don't have the time to go to all the open houses. Great, go on broker's tour. Or I can't find open houses. That's okay. Do this instead. Go find 3 open houses or 3 properties on tour. High price, middle price, low price. Then do a quick video about each one of them. Post them out on your social media. Hey guys, it's Greg. I just went to 123 Main Street. You won't believe this amazing home here, located in anywhere USA. Listed for $20 trillion. You got to check this inside pool out, right? Then you go to the middle. Then you go to the affordable side, right? Now, why 3, Michael? And I appreciate you asking. 1. Luxury shows luxury, right? People associate luxury with high quality.
Yeah.
Middle, that's your bread and butter, man. That's your everyday Joe and Jane out there with the kiddos going through life. That's their affordability index. The bottom tier, and I don't mean any disrespect, the affordable tier, that is either your starter home or your investor. So you're talking to the luxury owners, the everyday owners and the first time buyers, right? And you're showing them that you work in all three categories.
Yeah.
Plus, you get to highlight the real estate agent, say, hey, I'm out here at 123 Main Street. Michael Fielden just has this thing listed with ABC Realty here in Anywhere USA. You've got to come check it out. Here's what Michael and I talked about.
Yep.
Now, the agent's getting free publicity. You've asked permission. You're building a relationship with an agent in different marketplaces. So now you can use these agent relationships for future leverage and different opportunities. So like if you put an offer in, Michael, I helped you promote a couple of your homes. You know me. We like each other, right? I say, hey, Michael, I got a buyer. You're like, dude, you're solid, Greg. I got you, bro. I got you. Here's what I need you to come in with. Boom, done. Get the job done for your client. End of story. But you also get to know your marketplace. A lot of agents will not check the MLS. They will not go on broker's tour or whatever, caravan, whatever your verbiage is, right? Mm-hmm. Then open houses. Why are you not out looking at your competitors' open houses? What are they doing? How are they setting up? How are they greeting people? What are they wearing? What's the reaction? How many signs do they put up? Be a student of the industry. All the resources are around you. Everything you need is around you right now. Now your job is to be resourceful with your resources. Take them apart, put them back together, utilize them in different fashions. You'll be astonished at how much stuff you have around you.
Okay, so Greg, I know we want to shorten this up a little bit, but I am going to ask you a very important question. And Edwin, I want you to listen to the answer here. I want every one of you to listen to the answer. Greg, I've been doing this for a while. I haven't been working. I've got no money. I don't have the ability to go out and send postcards or create all these flyers. Heck, Greg, I don't even have the money to buy open house signs. What can I do to improve my business? And I have some ideas after you're done that have worked for me, but go. Give me 1 minute of what can I do when I have no money?
Social media immediately. You already have a friend base and a referral base built into that. You have LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X and whatever else, right? Those folks have some base knowledge of who you are. You use the Pareto rule, 80-20. So you're going to do 80% about your life, 20% about real estate. But Michael loves to do snowmobiling. That's not a joke. He really does like to do snowmobiling. So Michael heads up to the hills during the winter season, and he does a quick selfie or some sort of post going, hey guys, it's Michael Fielden with ABC Realty. I'm out here tearing up the slopes on my brand new blah 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 yakety schmack booty kicking snowmobile. Hope you guys are having a great day. When I get back, we should get coffee. Hit me up, whoever wants to try this new coffee place out on Main Street. Bam, and then you zoom off. The point is this: you do one post personal, one post professional per day. Keep them lighthearted, keep them upbeat, be consistent on that, but make a point. If you're doing your personal stuff, the whole point about the snowmobiling was this: give a header and a footer. Hey guys, it's Greg McDaniel with eXp Realty. Hey, today I'm out with my boy Michael Fielden. We are snowmobiling. Blah blah blah. Play it up, ham it up, and then say, hey guys, if you guys like cool videos like this and you want to see even cooler houses, I'm with eXp Realty here in Anywhere USA. Hit me up. Hit me a DM. Let's go look at some cool stuff. All right, guys, I got to go catch him. He's beating me down the path. Later. And you're gone. Yeah. Then you do your don't do market updates. I hate market updates. They are like, it's like picking up wet cardboard on your front porch after a rainstorm. It just sucks. What I want you to do is this. I want you to go get real-time articles from Inman, from Fox News, CNN, Wall Street Journal, anywhere, right? Housing Wire. Go get content that's relatable to your buyers and sellers, and then do a short video. Hey, guys, I read this article in the New York Times. It was talking about how we're doing cushmush in the industry. Hey, guys, this is going to be crazy. Hit me up with any questions. Boom, done. One personal, one professional. It costs you nothing. You already have a friend base. And then when people respond, you go out and you respond back. It's called being a human. Now, pro tip. Happy birthdays. Spend time drinking coffee in the mornings and send a personalized message to everybody in your ecosystem on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I don't even know if they have that on Twitter. I'm not big on Twitter, but send them happy birthdays and say, Michael, hey, brother, I know it's your birthday, man. Just want to wish you a happy one. Hope you and the fam are doing well. We should definitely get together and get coffee. Simple acts of kindness will propel you above mass marketing. Why? People buy off emotions. They remember you because of how you make them feel. It's just because you're driving around in the brand new Bentley galore and you're a jackass doesn't make you a good real estate agent. The person who cares, the person who's there, the person who remembered the birthday, their kid, they called when their wife was sick. That's the person getting the business.
Yeah.
Start getting invested in your community. Show that you're there to help and serve. That is my more than 1 minute. Michael, what is yours?
So I got 2 other tidbits for you that have been working for me really well lately. First off, Greg, I am a firm believer that your prime audience is people like you. So if you are trying to get new business, think, who am I? Okay, I'm a casual. That probably means I'm not a $5 million walk around the top end homes and try to solicit business. Okay, if I want to wear jeans and tennis shoes and go walk properties, I probably need to be in my area in the $1 million to $1.5 million range. One of the things that I have been doing lately, Greg, is I create a letter and I figure out what rents are in duplexes, triplexes, apartment communities in my area. And I say, look, if you're paying, because Bay Area rents now are stratospheric.
They're ridiculous.
So I tell people, look, you know what? If you're paying $5,000 a month right now for rent, not unusual in the Bay Area, here's what you could buy for just a little bit more. And over 5 years, even at a modest 3.5% increase, here's what you could flip that home into. People connect with that. It resonates. I leave it in their door. If they're not there, I've been known to slide it under in the apartment complexes. You just want to put that information out there. As a general rule, and I've learned this growing up, don't put it in their mailbox. You have no permission to do that.
That's a federal offense.
Federal offense. So be careful of that. The other one that I am encouraging people to do more and more is, as you build your database, consider every weekend, if you don't have an open house, send out this email. Hey, Greg, I just had a cancellation, and I do this on Thursday or Friday. I just had a cancellation for this weekend, and I have a few hours to go tour homes. Is there anything you've been thinking about that you want to go see, or do you want me to find a list of properties that we could go look at? Let me know. And I send that personalized email to everybody in my sphere. And they think it's coming. I mean, bulk mail is easy now, guys. You should be able to do this. And I get responses. And the responses are, hell yeah, or no, I can't. You know, thanks, Michael. I appreciate you inviting me. I'm glad you're always thinking about me. And that is a connection. And you want that. And then you just say, hey, no problem. I was just thinking you might want to look. Got any time this week? We can go look. They've started the conversation. The minute they respond, then it's in your court to take it to the next level. Maybe you call them. Maybe you text them. Maybe you send them 3 properties and say, hey, these are coming soon. Do you want to go see them?
You can put together you can send it out to everybody. Say, hey, guys, I'm going to be touring 2 homes in the luxury, 2 homes in the typical, and then 2 homes in the investment category. Would you guys like to join and go with?
Yeah.
The last thing I think I'm going to bring up is geofencing. Now, a lot of you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. It has gotten so incredibly affordable that you can target specific buildings and you can run multiple different locations in one campaign. And what you can do is you can literally highlight these different condos or subdivisions or apartment buildings or anything. So if you go to the apartment buildings and you learn what the studio, 1 bed, 2 bed, 3 bed, depending on the layout of the different units or different buildings, figure out exactly square footage, layout, pricing. Then you talk to a lender and you figure out what they can afford for purchase. Same amount of money out. Now in California, there's over, I think about my number might be a little bit off, but I think it's like 247 funded down payment programs for every walk of life. So you don't need 20%. You can do 3.5, 3, 5. Yep. I mean, you can do a variety pack there. So the money should not be the problem. There's also what we call the rich uncle. Someone who knows, likes, and trusts you that will be able to take an equity stance and then do the down payment for you. But again, we're getting in the weeds here. But I mean, there's so many ways to get moving. You just have to pick out your lane and start doing something, because you're gonna get the same result if you do the same thing, guys. Just make a small goal. Like Michael has a funny story about this. I told Michael to go door knocking. And Michael, how many cars did I tell you to bring?
You didn't say one, and that's how many I gave out.
It was 25. And Michael went to one door, said, screw this. He found a lane that wasn't his. That's fine. That's beautiful. And that's one thing he doesn't have to spend time doing. That's what I want you to go do. Find what doesn't work for you, and then double, triple, quadruple down on what does work for you. What do you want to do? Do you want to do postcards? Cool. You want to do calls? Cool. You want to do social? Cool. Videos? Cool. Whatever. Fill in the blank. Just don't waste time doing stuff you're not going to love, because you're going to spend a lot of time doing it.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Greg, that went over the 20 minutes that we were talking about. I want to tell everybody thank you. I am Michael Fielden. This is RE Geeks. Greg, take us home.
All right, boys and girls. Like Michael said, sorry, Geeks. I'm Greg. We'll see you guys on the next show. Until then, boom, peace. We love you. Bye.